Okay then guys, so we're going to move on now to look at paper 1 section A, which is the reading section of this paper. By now you should already have done section B. You started, you went straight to the back of the paper and you got your creative writing done and out of the way. So you've just spent 45 minutes planning and writing that piece and you've got 40 marks already in the bag. And that means we can now spend the rest of the exam concentrating really hard on our writing task. So the way this is going to work is we're going to go through these questions one by one and approach them in exactly the way that I would approach them if I was sat doing the exam in your place. The paper we're going to use is the one that you did for your most recent PPE. It's the Test of the D'Urbervilles extract, so you should all be pretty familiar with this. It might be worth following through with your own papers in front of you, looking at what you did and comparing to the way I'm approaching. So, we're not going to read this again together because, like I said, you already know it, and really what I want to do is to get into looking at how to approach the questions. But just a note on that, you would have read this at least twice before you start looking at the questions. The first time you're reading through, you're really just looking for an understanding of what's going on, who the main characters are, what are the main events, and then the second time you're reading it through, you're looking to fill in any gaps and make sure that you're certain of any words and things that you weren't sure about the first time. So by the time you come to answering the questions, you should have a really clear knowledge of what the question is all about. Okay, so let's have a look at question 1 together and talk about how we would approach it. So question 1 asks us to, from lines 1 to 5, identify the phrase that shows that Tess was not an expert in managing the horse. Okay, so let's break down the question. First things first, we're looking from lines 1 to 5. It tells us where we need to be in the exam paper. So the very first thing I would do is go to the exam paper and I'm going to circle lines 1 to 5. Why do we do this? Very simple, because people are still giving us answers from the wrong part of the text. Right? It seems ridiculous, but it happens, so it's worth just making sure you've circled it to make sure that can't happen. Okay, back to the question then. It's asking you to identify a phrase, so we're looking for more than one word here. A phrase is going to be several words long. What's that phrase that we're looking for? It's something that shows that Tess was not an expert in managing the horse. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my extract. I'm going to reread lines 1 to 5, and I'm going to find the sentence that tells me that she's not an expert in managing the horse. Left his reflections, Abraham soon grew drowsy. Nope, nothing about horse. Tess was not skillful in the management of a horse. Right, keyword that stands out there, we've got the word horse. Not an expert in managing the horse, we've got the word managing as well. So, I just need to read around this to make sure that I'm in the right place. Tess was not skillful. Now, the question is asking me to say that she's not an expert, and I know that an expert is someone who is skillful at doing something, so I can be pretty confident that Tess was not skillful in the management of a horse is going to be a phrase that answers the question. Okay, I'm going to have a quick skim through the rest of it to see if there's anything else in there that gives me any clue about it or could be a possible answer, and I can't see anything. So at the moment, that's my best option. So before I write it, I'm going to write down that one line now. So I'm going to make sure I copy it accurately. Tess was not okay. So double check that I've copied it accurately from the text. I have. I made a little mistake there, so I've corrected myself. Really important that you get it right, because he's asking you for a phrase from the text, and if you make something up there, that's going to be accurate. So I'm now going to double check that what I've got written here answers the question. Identify a phrase that shows that Tess was not an expert in managing the horse. Tess was not skillful in the management of the horse. Yep, I'm happy that what I've written down there answers the question. So I can move on.